They are easily one of the top 4 teams in the Eastern Conference, and the Brooklyn Nets may be top 2 before all is said and done. I'm not willing to go that far because I think Derrick Rose coming back for Chicago does a lot for them. I definitely, and then picking up Mike Dunleavy Jr. was a big pickup for them.
I agree.
As well. I think when you look at Indiana, the fact that they remained intact and they re-signed David West, and then they went out and got this kid, Chris Copeland, from the Knicks. Lord, I mean, that's a bad thing to happen for the New York Knicks. So in light of that reality, I definitely think that Indiana, Chicago will have something to say about it. But Darren Williams played like a star the second half of the season. Brook Lopez is still raw, but he's a legitimate 7 feet and can put up 19 a game. Joe Johnson, if nothing else, can close the deal for you. Okay. He's a Mr. Big Shot. He can hit shots in the clutch, and he's good for 16 a night. Okay. You combine all of that with a Paul Pierce, who, no matter what I think about him, he's a closer and a Hall of Famer, okay? And then you got KG, the ultimate warrior, who is going to bring defense, who can hit perimeter shots for you, not to mention can tutor Brook Lopez, okay? The combination of all of those things, you have a situation where the Brooklyn Nets can legitimately put 4 shooters out on the court at the same time to close the deal for you. If Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Darren Williams, and Joe Johnson are on the court to close the game for you, you don't know who's going to hurt you. I'm sorry. This makes them incredibly formidable. I'm talking about formidable enough to be considered a threat to the Miami Heat that we just saw. So I'm not going to say they beat them, that they deserve to be the favorites, but clearly when you talk about championships, the Brooklyn Nets are officially in the conversation.
They're not in my conversation. I think there's zero threat. I think the Miami Heat are losing zero sleep over the new Nets. I will give you this. Just as the Clippers are now the most interesting team in the West, the Nets are the most interesting team in the East, and I will watch them carefully next year. I will watch many more games than I watched last year when I had little regard for the Brooklyn Nets. My problem is Paul Pierce and KG are just a little too over the hill, and the other 3 players you mentioned, Darren, Joe Johnson, Brook, they're stars, Stephen A., but there's not a superstar in there. So I don't see where it's all going to click, and you're just going to have one shot here because I'm pretty sure this will be the end, especially for Kevin Garnett. Wouldn't you think this will be the last?
These last 2 years.
Okay. And now they're going to be coached by a coach kid, and I can't get used to saying that, coach kid. I see it in print. Coach kid?
Who's that?
Jason Kidd, trying to learn to be a coach, with Lawrence Frank actually being the hands-on coach. They said in the summer league game,
which is a good hire.
Yeah, it's terrific. You know, he's gone back to his roots now. Lawrence will be his coach, and Jason will kind of be the big picture guy.
Remember, Jason Kidd supported Lawrence Frank from the Nets. The New Jersey Nets got rid of Byron Scott, and Lawrence Frank was elevated.
I'm just not sure all that will click right out of the box for one big last hurrah for this group with the 2 older players. I don't see it. I still think they're the 4th best team in the East. Chicago, Indy, and obviously Miami.
I just look at KG and Paul Pierce as coach players. I look at Lawrence Frank as being a huge assistance to Jason Kidd. I view Jason Kidd giving a huge assist to Darren Williams. And I think the combination of it all, along with their ability to hit perimeter shots, if they're healthy in April, they can make some noise. You also have to take into account Miami, how they're not. I'm not expecting them to be what they were because of health, only because of health. That's my question mark about Miami, their health issues.
Dwayne Wade's health issues?
Dwayne Wade's health issues. So I'm concerned about that because that's a big deal as well. Billy King is on watch because he is a general manager who I believe is very, very capable and very solid. But at the same time, there's no championship on his resume. And you gave up 3 first-round picks. You know, you gave up something to get these boys.
I would have done it. I like the game.
I would have done it as well. I'm just saying it has to deliver something.
Okay.
Well, Stephen A., you said that this move makes them a legitimate threat to the Heat. But where does this put them in the East, in your opinion?
I'd easily top 4, arguably top 2. That's where I'm at.
Would you agree with
Solid
that?
4th.
Solid 4th. Staying in 4th. Leaving it there.
I think a guaranteed 4th.
Okay.
A potential number 2.